if they have a conflict of interest with any item that is set for possible action on the agenda. Does the council have any conflict of interest?
I actually do against 18, 19, and 20 line items.
Okay.
And me on 22. I'll be doing the construction on that.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Item number 5. Has the council had an opportunity to review the minutes of our June 16th meeting? Is there any additions or corrections?
No, one correction on page 1. It should be Monday, June 16th, not Tuesday.
Oh, we held that, I believe, on a Tuesday.
No, the 16th wasn't.
The 16th was not?
So,
Okay. Can we please make sure that's noted? Look back, okay. All right, are there any other additions or corrections? That, we will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the June 16th, 2025 regular meeting minutes.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? None opposed, one absent. Okay, this is the item number 6. This is the portion of our meeting for the public comment. Anyone from the public is invited to make a comment at this time. Please step up here to the podium and state your name for the record. There's a standard time limit of 3 minutes per person, although we welcome you and invite your comment. No discussion or response from the council is required, and individuals should please not anticipate any. So if there's anybody from the public who would like to make a comment, please step forward. Okay, seeing none, we will close that portion of the meeting. Move on to town manager and department reports. Liddell.
Okay, on the airport report for the month of June, I don't have a real accurate airport operations count because we've had trouble with the counter out there. We did finally get it working the last 4 days of June, and we had 197 operations, which is quite a few. So hopefully we had a good month there. I would suspect it would be about 800 operations. A year ago we had like nearly 500. On fuel, jet's down a little bit, avgas was up a little bit, about normal. On the hangars, we've been working now on trying to get the Garcane power to the hangars, and we've had the Garcane engineer out there, and the plan is to put in another transformer, and it's going to be down by those hangars, and so we're going to do some trenching and get everything ready to put that in. I think that the original figure they came up with after we did the conduits and everything was 25,000, and they said don't hold us to that because it might be more than that. I don't think it's going to be less than that. But okay, we had so Alma Cox has expressed an interest in putting up an 80 by 80 foot hangar east of the T hangars. On our parallel taxiway, that is complete now. In my report I said the final painting hadn't been done, but it has now been done. They did some grinding and final painting on those. So that's pretty much done, other than, I suppose, a warranty check a year or so from now. On our master plan update, we still haven't, last I knew, we still hadn't received our master plan grant, but it's imminent. And so Wolpert has actually been doing some surveying, and we've been getting some inventory ready, reports ready, and some Darlene's been getting together some things off the website and some pictures that we can put in that master plan. we've continued our mowing on the runways and taxiways. We did get some new cutting blades for the mower and do some other repairs on it. And on the FBO, it's been pretty slow lately, and my one employee has gone to do other things, so I hope things will pick up and he'll be back soon. But that's where we're at, unless you have some questions.
Does the council have any questions for Liddell? Thank you. Building Department, Andrew.
Good evening. Building department's been just running about like normal, what you'd expect. Spend a lot of times in plan reviews, talking to a lot of people about future projects. And I've spent quite a bit of time trying to go through the process of figuring out how to get the impact fees paid with utilities, and having that recorded on the city inspect. I think we've got most of that worked out. We're still seeing how smooth it'll run. On the CDBG grants, the RA grant, as you know, have been pushed back. The application due date is going to be on September 1st now. And there is a hearing later on that we can go over all the details on what we're doing with that. And on the SSP application, I still have not seen the notice of funding. The last project we did on Central Street, we had scheduled for the ADOH specialist to come out on the 23rd, but she just canceled the other day. So I don't know when or if they're going to come out and audit our books on that and look at that project. So on most of these projects, they intend to come out and look at the projects once they're done and go through all the files that we have. The last 3 or 4 projects, they have not been out here just because it's so far away from Phoenix. So that's what we have.
Okay, thank you. Does the
That
council?
doesn't impact whether they give you the next one?
No,
Does that?
no.
Okay.
Council have any other questions? Thank you, Andrew. I believe the police department report is separate there from your packet. Is there anything we need to be aware of their events?
Not aware of it.
Okay, Public Works, Rick?
Good evening. We've been painting and getting ready for chip. Water breaks, all the typical stuff. Rebuilding valves. Shop's been really busy. Spending a ton of money. Any questions?
I have to say, I'm really impressed with what you've done on Willow Street. Just a few short days, that's made a world of difference.
Yeah, we're gonna
Amazing.
try to get some blacktop on that as quick as we can
Thank you.
before the rain, hopefully.
We're getting some rain.
It's coming.
It's a
We're
possibility.
hoping for it. Does the council have any questions directly
Just get
for
it done
Rick?
before the weekend so it doesn't get all torn up by bikes.
there
and
you go.
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's looking really good. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you for your efforts and your crew. Utility, Nate.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just wanted to, I believe we've got the monthly report in your packet. That's not the second one that she just handed out. That's this June monthly report is what I'd like to answer any questions on that report. But it kind of shows that in the summer months, we definitely do go down quite a bit on our propane and natural gas usage. The sewer operations, we've been doing had the crews working on getting the sprinklers that go around the outside of the banks. Part of that is discharging the water, lowering the final pond, and then also water in the grass that stabilizes the banks. But we're also working with Sunrise Engineering to come up to get a permit to be able to discharge on to the big pivot, the big field that's there. We haven't had a permit in place before, so we're just working through the paperwork on that right now. And page 2, it's just showing some of the sprinkler controls, sprinklers and wires for that. And on the water side, we've got that's showing the picture of pulling the pipe out on one of our deep wells. We've got that all in and working now, and we're keeping up with the demand on all our treated water. And got all the wells that we have approved are working. Some of them were able to turn off and slow down a little bit I've been really grateful this hot weather and 4th of July and everything else. We've been able to keep up, so we're pretty grateful everything's working well right now.
In the packet, it just said deep well. What number is that?
One of the, it's a deeper well on Mojave, but one of the things we're having to be more careful of as far as with the security, instead of naming each well, it's more of a give a little bit less information as far as its protection of our system and where we're going. So that's some of what we'll be doing a little bit less of, is naming the exact well,
Okay.
just for the safety and everywhere we can to try to keep our security level up, keep everybody protected and safe, because cyber security, just the physical vandalism and damage is something we have to be ever vigilant on. You know, just the protection and the safety side of it is something we pay attention to and monitor quite a bit, keeping things secure.
All right, does the council have any
Have
questions?
you been monitoring the aquifer level this year compared to last year? How's it looking compared to last year?
I apologize, I don't have that exact number right now. We did finally get a transducer set up, so we should be able to start recording that and having a record of what that level is every day, at least near the well field on Mojave and Richard is where we've got one of them set up right now, and we're going to set up another one up closer to the spud pit to where we can monitor that. And that's the hard part is it's kind of been hit and miss when we've measured them, and some of it I've kind of wondered if our measuring equipment isn't as good as it ought to be. But with that transducer, it's sending a signal down and back up, and it's accurate. It's, you know, we're really pleased with that. So.
Okay. The council have any other questions?
Thanks, Nate.
Thank you, Nate, for all you guys do.
Is Jerry Postum able to get on?
He never texted me.
Okay. So the other report that was handed out is more of a year-end total report, and we were hoping to have Ezra Nielsen here tonight to present, and something came up and he wasn't able to make it. So that's that. So if there was any questions on that, that's just kind of a rundown of the kind of a report from the utility board.
Okay. All right, well, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Vance.
Okay, my report's on page 23 in your packet. As you are probably aware, on July 3rd, the federal court terminated the injunctive order. That termination was actually initiated by the DOJ. And that also terminated the contracts with Mr. Carter and Mr. Keith for the monitor and police consultant positions. I did want to voice my gratitude for their help in implementing and complying with the order. In the administration office, we hired another assistant to replace Linda, who had to quit due to some family needs. We missed her greatly, but I think we've got a good person to replace her. And we went to a 4-day work week, a Monday through Thursday. We'll see how that works out. Albeit I will still have my phone and check my emails and available on Fridays, just like always. Like I've always been on Saturdays and Sundays. Yeah. The last month, we spent quite a bit of time on budget matters, refining the FY26 budget. We'll talk some more about that. But with the termination of the injunctive order, we were able to reallocate about $45,000. That was the town's share of court oversight. I reallocated that to the streets and roads for material. Quite a bit of time spent on landfill operations, but it's leveling out. The staff we have there, John and Rose, are doing a marvelous job. The assistance of Sarah. The financing for the initial entry into PSPRS, we're just finishing up that packet. We will need a special meeting next week, probably next Tuesday or Wednesday, to take the necessary actions on those in order to have that payment made by July 31st. It's been quite a exercise in wondering if it's going to come together. Quite a bit of time spent on planning and zoning items. Other than that, that's about it, unless you have some questions.
Council have any questions? Thank you, Roy, and the staff do. All right, well, we do not have a court report. We will move on to item number 8. Okay, we will close our regular council meeting. We will formally open a budget hearing for any public comment at this time. This is for the 25-26 fiscal year budget for the town of Colorado City. The tentative budget was adopted on June 3rd, 2025, with an invitation to the public to meet with staff and discuss the budget. The tentative budget and notice of budget hearing have been published in Kingman Minor as per the Arizona Code, and has been posted on the town's website and has been available for public review in the town clerk office. With the termination of the injunction order, we were able to reduce the court oversight to $1,500 to facilitate closing costs. This freed up $45,370 from the town's budget, and it has been reallocated to streets and roads. There's also a change from the tentative budget in the review projection received from the state, which resulted in lower fund balance being budgeted overall. The final proposed budget is the same amount as the tentative budget. So with that, is there anybody from the public who would like to comment? Okay, seeing none, we will go ahead and close the public comment portion budget hearing. We will close that. We will open up our regular council meeting, and we will address item number 9. Item number 9, consider resolution adopting final budget for 25-26 fiscal year. Vance.
Okay, as you should be aware, in Arizona, once we adopt the tentative budget, we cannot increase the bottom line. Between that and the final budget, we're kind of stuck with it through the year, so we get some pretty hokey-looking budgets. Because if we're looking to get grants, we're applying for grants, we have to factor all that into our tentative budget, whether we get those grants or not. As was mentioned, we reallocated some of the costs from the tentative budget from court oversight to road materials. And also, we got some updated revenue projections from the state, so we reduced the amount that we are budgeting from our fund balance by just shy of 200,000, which gives us a little more robust fund balance. We were just right at the, well, this puts me in a comfortable zone.
So their projections were better
They
than
were
we
higher,
expected.
right.
Awesome.
The fund balance, the unbudgeted fund balance is a necessary part of the process, because if you get a sudden drop in the economy or something, it gives you a way to buffer that while you slam the brakes on stuff. We've been through it a couple times. So other than that, there was no other major changes. The bottom line is still the same. It's just those two items were changes.
Thank you. Does the council have any questions or comments on that? Okay, with that, we will entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion to adopt Resolution 2025-17, adopting the final budget and salary actions for fiscal year 2025-2026.
I'll second it.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Dalton? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? None opposed. The motion carries. Item number 10, CDBG public hearing number 2. Andrew,
You need to formally close.
I will formally close the council meeting and open a public hearing for the CDBG public hearing number 2, input on community development, proposed project selection. It's 5:24.
So on June 23rd, we held the first public participation meeting. And we came up with all the projects, quite a few that we've had on the docket many times. And we have narrowed them down to the 5 that are on page 25 of your packet. The first project number 1 is a comprehensive planning and capital improvements. Project number 2 is street improvements on Academy Avenue, and 3 is some drainage and street improvements on Cook Avenue. Number 4 would be street improvements on Township Avenue. And project number 5 is to upfit the 2 wells that were done earlier, or in the latter part of 24 from the ARPA funds, to upfit those wells and connect them into the system. So those are the 5 projects that we're considering.
Have you listed these in order of your suggested priority? Or-
Not particularly.
Okay.
And so they're letting us choose 2? Is that what it is? Or they're giving enough
We
funding
can-
that would cover 2?
Yeah, we can, and we can have a little bit more discussion after, if once the public's done with if they've.
Is there anybody from the public to speak on this that would like to?
Well, I'm part of the public, ain't I?
We'll have discussion on it, as the council will, if you'd like. What would you like to speak as a
Number
councilman?
5, we need to do number 5.
Okay. It's-
Big time.
I'll go ahead and close the public portion of the meeting at 5:26. And reopen the council meeting for item number 11.
Looks like Andy's back, so.
So
Andrew,
with this application, this is the RA application, which is funds that are guaranteed to the community if we come up with with projects that qualify. So we have gone through this process before, earlier, or in the last part of last year, and we chose to do the planning grant. When we started going through the costs, what it's gonna take to do that, that only used maybe half of the available funds. So I reached out to ADOH and we got an approval. One of the things they sent back is that if we're doing a comprehensive planning grant, that is written into the code books that if we ask, then there is a chance that we can split it into 2 applications. So we applied and they sent back and said that we could do that. The timing of this has been a little bit different than some, and although our application due date is now on September 1st, they still had to have the letter of intent and a lot of the information before May 23rd for their meetings. So I did send a letter of intent with the anticipation that you'd choose the 2 projects that we have lined out, one of them being the comprehensive planning grant that we had decided before. And the other one I'm recommending, because we've already put a lot of work into it also, is the upfitting those 2 water wells. So it's be projects 1 and 5.
okay. Does the council have any questions for Andrew?
So that means.
What's the budget on 5 about?
Do we have an engineer's estimate on that number 5?
So we did get an engineer's estimate. They did an engineer's estimate that fit right just almost to the dollar of what we had available when they were doing the ARPA portion of those. We had to have them go back and redo that engineering because now it's going to be federal funds, which has increased quite a bit. They've added in a bunch of other stuff that we've got to have them take back out. So their estimate right now is around 800,000, and that's we're shooting for. I think that after we take out the stuff for the comprehensive planning, we'll end up with around 450, pushing 500, not quite 500,000 left. There is some matching funds that we will need to do in that. So I think that once we talk to them and trim that down a little bit, I think it's still a good project that we can make it fit for both of those. But there'll probably be a little bit more of like the backup generator, a few other items that they added in there for redundancy that may have to fall back onto utilities to figure out how to do that, or maybe operate without them for a little bit.
Assuming that number 5 is chosen, how quick could we get that out for construction contract?
So this application is due September 1st. I expect that we're going to have a contract agreement with ADOH possibly as early as November. So this will be a next year project. Because these 2 projects have some piping to do, there's an environmental review that we have to do, and we just barely got the site plans, so we can get that started right now. We do not have to have that completed for the application, but that has to be complete for the contract.
And the real concern is that the integrity of those wells, it deteriorates over time. If we really need to get that done.
Yeah. So, and as soon as we sign the contract, we can get started. And I'm guessing that these projects are probably something we could do, you know, when the weather's cold. We've typically done most of our projects during the summers because that's when you can lay asphalt and all that. But with these, I think that as soon as the environmental review is done, we can get a signed contract. We can work with the engineer and go out to bid for contractors on these.
You think January, February? Is that?
I think there's a good chance of that.
Okay. Okay, does the council have any more comments or questions for him? All right, thank you. All right, so we will entertain a motion to accept projects 1 and 5.
I'll make a motion to accept projects 1 and 5.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? There are none opposed. Looks like the projects are 1 and 5. Item number 12. Consider approval of a special event liquor license for the Fly-In and Air Show. Vince.
Okay, there's been an application made for a special event license in conjunction with the annual fly-in, and I believe Mr. Jared Zitting is here to speak to that. So I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Jared.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I'm Jared Zitting with the Board of Supervisors at the airport. I'm here to speak for the committee that's organizing the air show this year. We're excited to bring this community event back, showcase aviation, family-friendly entertainment, and local vendors. We're here to respectfully request a temporary liquor license that would allow us to serve beer and wine in designated security areas during the show. Our goal is to create a festive, responsive environment for adults while maintaining safe and enjoyable experience for families and all the attendees. If approved, the alcohol service would be managed by licensed servers in accordance with all the state and local regulations and the appropriate security and IDs in place. This license would not only enhance the experience for many of our guests, but also support local businesses and increase the revenue for the event, helping to ensure its continued success in years to come. We appreciate your time, and just wanted to mention that in the past, the boards had to pay for these events out of pocket, so we feel like that this is just one way to create the revenue we need to continue this thing.
I do have a question. Will the alcohol be served outside of the airport fencing on the,
Oh, it'd be inside in a VIP tent.
okay? Could we move it to the outside of to where we don't have it in the airport area?
What I'm trying to do is get it into a VIP area so the main sponsors can watch the show and have a cold drink while they're at it. That would probably negate that.
Okay.
Do you think that this would increase the amount of people that show up to the event, or what's the purpose behind it?
I think it'll increase the amount of sponsors we can get to help us pay for the show.
As the city has poured a lot in to these events, and if we're looking to somehow now we're going to recapture that, are we paying the city back, or who? What is that?
No, this would just pay for the performers.
Okay. Okay.
I have a comment. I feel like it ought to be, stay family friendly and not bring alcohol into it because there's so many children and so many things. And I hope the flyers don't imbibe in it and have a problem that way. So I'm opposed to it.
Okay. Any other council member have a?
I've been on both
comment?
sides of this. Helping fundraise for this is a huge deal, and anything that you can charge more for and help the cost and help get people to sponsor is a big deal. It's tough, and I do want it to be family friendly too at the same time, but it's just one of those things that's it possibly could help.
So it shows that it goes till 7, is that
That's just a,
just when the permit expires?
yeah. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
sure the show will only go till about 2 or so.
Okay.
Okay, well,
I actually think if it is contained, if it could benefit and stay contained, it might actually help the show be a bigger success, because I saw the stress they took on the last few years trying to get enough money to pay the pilots. And I see where you're coming from, keeping it family friendly, but on the same grounds, keep it contained.
yeah.
Kind of like even when you go down to the fair, they have a little area that they do serve alcohol, but the fair is definitely family friendly, but you cannot even step out of that area and it's all like in a cup, and you have nothing in your hand to leave that area.
We have we have establishments here that, they serve alcohol. Why couldn't we give them a coupon or something, bring them to the establishments rather than bring the alcohol to the airport?
I feel like that would probably defeat the purpose of bringing people to the show. You'd be giving them a voucher to go away from the show.
Okay. All right, well, I don't support it. We can go ahead and, if anybody has any other comments, that's fine, we can put it to a vote.
I agree with Alma. I think that the show, there's so many children there and people stumbling around with alcohol. I think it's just really detrimental to what we're trying to portray there.
Is any other council? Thank you for your input. Any other comments on it? If not, we will entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion that we approve the special event liquor license for the Flying Air Show with the special requirements.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye.
Aye.
Nay, or yeah, aye.
Yeah, the other eye.
Oh,
So that's a split. What do we do? 3 and 3, Vance.
Has to be more than 50% to pass.
The motion does not carry, so the permit will be denied. All right, item number 14. Consider zoning map amendment, parcel 404-45012 from RE1A residential to R112 single-family residential. Vance.
Okay, this is kind of an interesting phenomenon. These are some new parcels that were created out between 389 and Redwood, between Township and Uzona. Bought from State Trust by several people who then broke it into parcels. And now they're seeking zoning for these various parcels. The first one is a 5 acres that's on Township Avenue on page 35 in your packet. It shows where it's located. And they're just asking for an R112 zone so they can develop a small single-family residential there.
Okay. Does the council have any questions or comments?
I do. I believe all of these zoning map amendments are talking about the same parcel, the same plot of ground. I've had some questions raised to me as to whether or not this has followed the legal subdivision process, and if the other items have been met to actually subdivide this and create parcels yet, just like we require on these other subdivisions we've been looking at and working on for years now, some of them. And I don't feel comfortable recommending changing a zone on something we haven't looked at already. There's some wording in our town code that raises some questions that I think need to be addressed. I think our planning and zoning commission need to relook at this, going through and understanding our code as well as staff, and making sure we're not getting ourselves into a situation where we're right back under the injunction if we're requiring certain things of certain subdivisions, making sure we're requiring the same things for every subdivision we look at. I'm not an expert on this, I don't pretend to be, I just want to raise that question and get us to look at it. I'm one person, that's just my opinion. We're just coming out from under an injunction now, and I don't want to see us start heading back the other way and get slapped with just some discrimination. And I know there are people that are looking at these processes and that have applied and are applying to do some similar things. And if we're setting a precedence here that doesn't line up with what we've done in the past or with what our town code says.
Okay, thank you. Is there has this property been zoned previously?
In the original zoning map, this whole area was originally zoned as RE1A, 1 acre residential, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. I don't quite know how to address some of Councilman Burnham's concerns, because it came to me as individual parcels. They were already parceled out when they came with their application, even though it wasn't all, the numbers weren't showing up on the county map. They do now.
So
And
Are they
each one
separate?
of these, each one of these will have to go through the subdivision process in order to develop.
Are they separate owners?
Yes.
Okay.
I attended the planning and zoning meeting, and they passed it unanimously, and with the Mr. Bradshaw, the new expert on there, he had some questions, and he was fine with it.
I'm not sure how we hold a group of owners whole and together on parcels that are not owned by the same entity or the same person.
So I think the question is, was this piece of property already part of the Colorado City subdivision?
It was not part of the
That we
UEP
just
subdivision,
recently
if
did.
that's what you're asking. No. This was state trust land. It was
Right.
outside of that.
So it's my understanding, a group, multiple people got together and purchased this land from the state trust. In that effort, they each are making an application to change the zoning to where they can develop that individually, and that's what these applications are. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that's
I have a question
Go ahead.
on Township. Would that road be improved there? And then also, there's one going up parallel with 389. Who puts that in, and when do they put that in, do you think?
As with any subdivision, the developers will have to put those in as they develop.
Because that property doesn't even come close to this one that's parallel. I just wonder if,
Right. And Township Avenue is going to have to be improved by a combination of these developers, the developers on the other side of the road, and so on as we can bring it together.
okay.
So are the questions, so when we're considering a subdivision, we usually have a lot of input. There's usually a preliminary sketch, so we usually have a lot of input as far as right-of-ways, as far as utilities, as far as roads, as far as all those things. And
Okay, on a zoning question, the question before the council, it really boils down to, is this an appropriate place for an R12
Okay.
or not? If it is, then it is. If it's not, it's not. The owner of these properties, in their own time and way, some of them are anxious to move fast, some of them may be a little bit slower.
Right.
They will then have to come with a sketch plan for their development. That will then go through the subdivision, the review processes by planning commission, utility board, and eventually to the council.
Yeah, it just seems to me like it's usually,
So the
A
way,
step
the way
further
this
down the
was brought
process.
to me, it was already broken up into these parcels. However they arranged that.
okay.
Do you have any concerns in regards to this, Vance? You're the one that's closest to these issues more than anybody here.
As far as the zoning requests and what they are asking to put where, no. I think it's appropriate. R112 is an appropriate zone for along Redwood. Commercial along the highway. The industrial they're requesting is right across from Remedy and that
Right.
other lot that's already
Down on the bottom,
industrial.
yeah.
So the concern that Councilman Burnham brought up can be addressed in future sessions, right? To deal with.
Each of these will have to go through that process. Now, some of the greater concern is, if this one comes in with the process, how much of the upstream engineering are they responsible for? Things like that. But those are questions that any landowner has to deal with wherever their land is. They may have to do some engineering upstream or downstream to make their project work. They may not, depending on how it all lands.
Well, in regards to how many items there are here, would it be appropriate to bundle some of these together and pass them in one motion?
As they're separate owners, I would suggest that we
Well,
don't.
several
Yeah,
of
we
them,
do,
there's
yeah.
several items that are the same owner, though. I mean,
I think you'd be better off, and it'd be cleaner to deal with each one on its own merits. You
Okay.
can go through them as fast as you'd like or as slow as you'd like. But I think each one needs their own action.
With that R1 and 12, is that a pretty big impact in that area for all of us? That's quite a few lots.
Yeah, those are quarter-acre lots, so it's not considered high density by any means.
Okay.
Of course, there's a lot of engineering that'll have to go into utilities, sewer.
Yeah, the water problem, I just,
I think that's actually the biggest zoning we have other than an acre. It'd be nice if we had an R114, so we could get some third acres here. But isn't that the biggest zoning we have?
The half-acre option.
Yeah, the 1/2 acre, okay.
Okay.
So it's not that high density out there.
let's see.
Does the council have any questions about this item number 14? Any other questions?
That is actually in fairly close proximity to the school, and I think it's a good location for single-family residential.
Thank you. Well, with that, we will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-15, rezoning parcel 404-545-010 to RE 1A residential to R112 single-family residential.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Can I abstain, or do I need to say nay?
You need to oppose if you're going to oppose.
Okay, nay. Not that I don't think this would be appropriate spot for it, nay.
Okay. Okay, the motion passes. Item number 15. Consider zoning map amendment. Parcel 404-45009.
It's 14 you're on.
It's 14.
That was 13.
Yeah, we just did 13.
13, we did 13.
Excuse me. All right. 404-45012 from RE1A to R112, single-family residential.
This application from Lamone, I guess that's how you pronounce it.
Lemoyne.
What?
Lemoyne?
Lemoyne? Okay. Is also for an R112, and it is located up Redwood Street a little ways from Township, as shown on the map on page 38.
Does council have any questions, comments? With that, we will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-16, rezoning parcel 404-45-012 from RE1A residential estate to R112 single-family residential.
I'll
Awesome.
second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed?
Nay.
Item number 15. Consider zoning map amendment. Parcel 404-45009 from RE1A to R112, single-family residential. Does the council have any questions on this one?
This one is also an R112 located along Redwood Street, just barely south of the one you barely acted on.
No
Who's
question.
Petrol Land Holdings, anybody know?
I think he's
We do
here.
have a representative from Petrol Lane
Oh, okay.
Holdings here.
What's your name? Mike Stewart. Okay, thanks.
Does the council have any? If no questions, we will entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion to adopt ordinance 2025-17, rezoning parcel 404-45-009 from RE1A residential estate to R1-12 single-family residential.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. Item number 16, consider zoning map amendment, parcel 404-45008 from RE1A residential estate to industrial.
Is that what IP means, is industrial?
This is a 10-acre parcel located on Township, just a little bit west of 389. It is directly across from the Remedy Yard in that area.
Okay. Does the council have any questions? If not, we will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-18, rezoning parcel 404-45-008 from RE-1A residential estate to industrial IP.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. Item number 17, consider zoning map amendment, parcel 404-4500, or excuse me, 011, from RE1A to R112.
This is a 12-acre parcel right on the corner of Township and Redwood, being requested to rezone to a R112.
Does the council have any questions? With that, we will entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion to adopt the ordinance 2025-19, rezoning parcel 404-45-011 from RE1A residential estate to R112 single-family residential.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. Item number 18, consider zoning map amendment, parcel 404-4513, 404-4514, 404-4515, 404-4516, from RE1A to R112, single-family residential. Vance.
Okay, this is several parcels right there. North of the Lamone Barlow one and south of what they're asking for commercial, so it's a little bit south of Arizona Avenue. The map on page 54 shows that, where that's located.
Does council have any questions?
Explain the C3 a little bit for me. Is that just commercial 3?
That's the next one.
This one's
Oh,
still.
that next
this
one.
is
Oh,
this
excuse me.
top
It's
one.
R112.
Oh, it's the blue. Okay, excuse me.
Right next to it there.
Okay. Does council have any questions?
I make the motion that we accept that as presented along with the next two that are with the same owner. Is that appropriate?
I would think so. I would second that emotion, or that motion also. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye for
Aye.
Aye.
items 18, 19, and 20. So we get that vote again. All in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed?
Nay.
And I'm abstaining from voting on that.
Yeah, she abstained.
That's 3-1.
It's what?
That's a vote
Four.
for,
So you,
No, I didn't,
Four,
but
one?
I'll,
Oh.
didn't
we
all
got
four.
one abstained.
okay.
Okay, so it'd be 4-1.
We got one nay.
1 nay
But you had 4 yes.
and 1 abstained.
Okay, so the motion passes. Those 3 motions pass. Excuse me.
And they're all 4-1?
They are 4-1. One abstained.
One abstain, okay.
That's item 18, 19, and 20, if you're marking those. Thank you. Item number 21,
Okay,
Vance.
as part of their purchase from State Trust Land, they were required to parcel out the roadway sections. And in order for the county to put them on the map as owned by Colorado City, the town council needs to formally accept that
As
property.
something will.
So that's beginning on page
Property transfer.
55 in your packet is the resolution to accept the properties described in Exhibit A, which is the warranty deed with the legal description. And I apologize, I didn't realize that it was gonna just cut off instead of scale the picture. But you can see on page 60, see the little bit of Arizona Avenue. You can see the first little bit of township. That follows over to Redwood, and then that same amount up Redwood clear to Uzona. So that will be deeded to the town for their
Basically,
streets.
it's
And
right
the
here.
other streets that are shown on their concept or as they're
Looks like it's
developed will
all
be
the road
accepted as part of each subdivision
Given the
as they're
width.
developed.
At a later date.
Yes.
Okay.
But these 3 are already, they were already defined right-of-ways in the state trust world, and so they're requiring them to,
They've been on our map for
yes.
a long time. Yeah.
Okay.
Did I get that right? That pretty much sum it up? Okay. Arthur's here to answer any questions on it if you need.
Does the council have any questions or comment?
I just wanted to make sure those are roads that have already been on our map for a long time. And we've been using. Okay.
There. Okay. With that, we will entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion to adopt resolution 2025-19, accepting real property from Arthur Jeffs for road right-of-way into the town street system.
I'll
I'll
second it.
second, go ahead.
Yeah. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Are there any opposed? None opposed. Item number 20, the motion carries. Item number 22, consider preliminary plat, Academy Townhome subdivision. Vance.
Okay, this is a 7-unit townhome development on the corner of Academy Avenue and Willow Street. This was zoned in June of 2022 to an R2. And that's been the developer's intention. They spent quite a bit of time deciding how to run utilities. I think he was trying to get his financing all in order and such. Mr. Thomas Timpson is here to represent the developer. Do you have any questions? So this preliminary plat was acted upon by the Planning Commission at their July 7th meeting. and is now ready for council approval. If the council approves it, then we will finalize the construction drawings and let them build.
Mr. Timpson.
Good
Does it-
evening, Your Honor and council members. My name is Thomas Timpson, and I am representing Nolan Jessup on this project with Jessup Properties. Like Mr. Barlow said, then we're taking this 0.71 acre lot and we're proposing to subdivide it into 7 lots to accommodate a 7-unit townhouse building. So that's the essence of what we're trying to do. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Is there a development agreement for this?
This one is small enough, it doesn't really need a development agreement per se. It's really straightforward.
Okay. Does the council have any questions or comments? Thank you, Thomas.
Thank
All right, we will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the preliminary plat for Academy Avenue Townhome subdivision.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I abstain.
The motion carries. Item number 23.
Okay,
That's-
23 and 24 we can discuss together, but they will need to be acted upon separately if you want.
Okay.
And somebody forgot to update their comments. That's not Sentinel subdivision, that is Reservoir Acres. Now it's my turn to be embarrassed because I'm the one that did that one. So this is the final plat for Reservoir Acres. It's beginning on page 86 in your packet is the application. This is a 32-unit subdivision. It's been a couple of years in process. It is now ready for the council to accept that plat and authorize its recording. We have reviewed it. We've got the sign-offs from the utilities, that the utilities were installed properly. The streets and roads have inspected the surface improvements, and we believe it is ready to start building homes in.
Okay. Does council have any questions or comments?
Does our engineer take a look at this?
Yes, we send this to Sunrise for a,
And they were fine with it?
yes. Any concerns they had, which dealt with streetlights and signs mostly, have been addressed and taken care of. For both of these are right together, but we'll get to the next one in a minute.
Okay. With that, we will entertain a motion if council has no other
Bottom of
comments.
these- On the bottom of these, they both say for the Sentinel subdivision.
I
Yeah,
know,
that's-
that's what I
that's
was
not
saying,
correct.
that's my mistake in
Oh.
the staff comment section, I
is.
forgot to update it, so
It is Reservoir Acres.
Reservoir
23
Acres, correct?
So it's Reservoir?
acres.
I'll make the motion to approve the final plat for Reservoir Acres subdivision and authorize its recording.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? None opposed. Motion carries. Item 24. Are there any questions or comments about this one?
This one is on the south side of Carling Street, right next to Reservoir Acres, the reservoir, and it's called Reservoir Estates subdivision. So it was a small R2 subdivision, and it is also ready for final plat approval.
With that, we will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the final plat of Reservoir Estates subdivision and authorize its recording.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Unopposed, the motion carries. Item number 25, second reading by title only, ordinance 2025-11, amending town code, title 3, section 30, providing the direct elect of the mayor. Vance.
Okay, at the June 16 meeting, this ordinance was declared a public record and had a first reading by title only. It's now ready for a second reading by title only, and then after that, a possible adoption.
Thank you.
I'll make the motion to read by title only ordinance 2025-11, amending town code Title 3, Section 30, providing for the direct election of a mayor as a second reading in the adoption process.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? None opposed, the motion carries. Please read by title only.
Ordinance number 2025-11, an ordinance of the Town of Colorado City, ordinance of the Town Council of the Town of Colorado City, County of Mojave, State of Arizona, regarding the position of mayor, amending the city code Title 3, Section 30.020 to allow for a direct elect for the mayor and providing for a vote of the qualified electors of the town approving said change.
Thank you. Item number 26, consider adoption of ordinance number 2025-11, direct elect of the mayor. This is the motion for adoptions.
I'll make the motion to adopt it. I think we've all agreed that.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Are there any opposed? None opposed, motion carries. Item number 27, second reading by title only, ordinance 2025-12, amending town code. Vance.
This ordinance also had a first reading, was declared a public record and had a first reading at the June 16 meeting. It's changing the time in the code for the regular council meetings from 6 o'clock to 5 o'clock p.m.
Okay. Does the council have any questions?
We'll let John know we passed it, and so he needs to be here.
We're already doing it.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Are there any opposed? None opposed, motion carries. Clerk, would you please read ordinance 2025-12 by title only?
Ordinance number 2025-12, an ordinance of the mayor and council of the Town of Colorado City, Arizona, adopting amendments to the town code Title 3, Chapter 30, Mayor and Council.
Thank you. Item number 28, consider adoption of ordinance number 2025-12, amending town code, as we have just reviewed by title only.
I'll make the motion to approve that ordinance.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Are there any opposed? None opposed, motion carries. Item number 29, consider resolution appointing a CFO for fiscal year 26 for purposes of filing expenditure limitation reports. It is that time of year, Vance.
Yes, this is an annual requirement, and so we prepared resolution 2025-20, appointing myself as the CFO to make sure that filing gets done.
Does the council have any questions?
You still happy to do that for us?
Thrilled.
Thank you. I would make the motion that we adopt this ordinance.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. The motion carries. Item 30. We don't have anything for executive session today. Item 31, budget report and order to pay due claims. Vince.
Beginning on page 97 in your packet, this is for the 12 months ending June 30. Our tax revenues came in at 86% of budgeted. Our licenses and permits at 107% of budgeted. IGAs, which includes the urban revenue sharing, came in at 86%, which was kind of interesting. They usually peg it right on. Overall, our IGAs are at 89% of budgeted. Charges for services at 100%. Lease revenue at 76%. Fines and forfeitures at 67%. Overall, our general fund revenues came in at 87% of budgeted. Our expenditures in the general fund, these factor in the budget adjustments that were made at the June meeting. Admin at 93, building at 74, law enforcement at 97, magistrate court at 92, emergency dispatch at 90, basically 95, parks and recs at 95, airport at 94. Overall, our general fund expenditures at 89% of budgeted. Our HERF funding came in at 90% of budgeted, and the expenditures at 90%. It's close to 91. Those numbers can change slightly as we do year-end adjustments as part of the audit process, but it should be close.
Okay, thank you.
For the payment approval report, I printed out ones that actually have, specifically for the GL code. The one that's in the packet is a good report, but it just doesn't show the GL code, so it's a little harder to follow. The first expense that I'm drawing to your attention is just barely past midway down the page. It's for $2,166.
This is the handout one.
Yes. That is for a new tablet for Vance, we think. And then the next one is an expense for $8,183. That is the amount that legislature requires all the cities. It's for the firefighters in California.
No, actually, it's the firefighters cancer fund.
Oh, cancer fund.
Oh,
It's not
good.
the CA, so I'm assuming California.
Yeah, the legislature a couple of years ago decided that to fund the firefighters cancer fund, they would just assign all the cities a percent cost based on their population. So it's because the legislature said fee.
Yeah. And then the one right below that, $6,327, that's just the annual dues for the league, the council and staff. Yep, league dues. And then on the next page, up towards the top, there's one for AMRRP, and that's just our insurance, $34,000. Quarterly payment. $34,606. It's for our vehicles and buildings. And then on page 3, down towards the bottom, we have one for $3,885 and also $41,323. They're for body cams. The bottom one that's for $41,000, that's a payment of 5. This is the first payment of 5. And then just the one right below that for $8,169 is Magnum Wall Stoops. It's our prosecution. And then on the next page, about a fourth of the way down, there's one for $9,527. It's for tech support for dispatch. And then about halfway down the page, there's one for $4,444, and it's a new computer for dispatch. On the next page, up at the very top, we just have our airport costs to Liddell Biceline. It's the normal, about halfway down. We have one for $3,294, and that's for the mayor special-elect, the voting. And then right below that, we just have Jim Keith for $3,634. On the next page, page 6, about not quite halfway down, we have one for $2,348, and then one right below that for $1,769. Those are for tires for Public Works trucks. And then just about at the bottom, we have one for $1,500. That's Public Works loader parts. And then on page 7, we have the final payment for the S&L Underground. And then that's for $25,825. And about halfway, you have the Taxiway A Engineering, Woolpert, for $208,054. And then right below that, the final payment to Mel Clark.
There's gonna be at least one more
Oh,
for retention.
okay. So it's not quite the final payment on that one. And that's $664,573. And that was about everything of interest, unless you have a question on anything.
I have a question on page 2.
Okay.
This would be a question for Vance, I guess, on the commercial liability. With the injunction going away, do we have the ability to renegotiate that liability insurance down? Isn't some of that attached to because of the injunction?
No, this is a quarterly payment. So we get an annual assessment from the pool, and the injunctive order did not increase that cost. It made it very difficult buying insurance out on the commercial market, but the pool didn't factor that in.
Once we got back into the pool.
Yeah.
Okay, just,
So our total policy for the year, you can take that number and multiply it by 4. That's
it just seems,
pretty much in line with what
does that include all the heavy equipment, the trucks and
Yes.
everything?
Yes, that's all the vehicle insurance, that's our general liability insurance, that's our building insurance, our equipment within the building insurance. So each year, we send them a complete list of all of our assets, our buildings, the equipment in it, like the dispatch center.
It just seems to me like $130,000 is pretty high for that, but
Well, it's actually a lot less than we were paying in the commercial market, I can assure you. And it is everything. I mean, it's basically the whole gamut. So it's full coverage on the vehicles, includes the trucks, the equipment, the inland marine.
Is it the police department too?
Yes, includes all the liability for the police department, our share of the utilities liabilities. So if somebody turns the water on and floods somebody's basement, don't ask me how I know that can happen.
Okay. Does council have any?
it just seems to me like it ought to go down with the injunctive order being lifted. But that's just my thoughts on it.
It'd be nice, but I don't think they factored that in at all.
Okay.
I need to help you negotiate it.
Yeah, you can negotiate mine too.
Right, if no other questions, then we'll entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion that we pay the bills as they come due.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Are there any opposed? None opposed. The motion carries. All right, this is item 32. It's a time for any council member to bring up items for awareness. Council cannot take action on these items, but we can direct staff to do additional research on them or schedule them for a future agenda. The council have any comments?
I would I would like to propose that we build an ordinance in Colorado City that says motorbikes cannot wheelie in this town or on city streets. Just to help calm them down.
Yeah, popping wheelies and spinning bloaties right in the middle of Central and Township it's really, really strange that they get away with that time after time
Well,
after time.
I saw that vehicle on the back of a wrecker going to an impound a few days ago.
We can look into that and see what it would entail, or if we even could do that.
I think the vehicle ought to be not only impounded, but taken away and sold at auction to help us pave our roads.
Well, there's laws in place for everything else but wheeling, and it's a sign of rebellion almost, or whatever. But it would be a way to address it if there's no laws in Arizona that address that. We can address it as a city, because it's a problem here.
I wanted to talk about the dark sky lighting for the new developments, and I know that at Planning and Zoning, Michael was gonna get some sample ordinances, so I just didn't want that one to get lost somehow. Because I think with any of the new development coming in, it would actually be huge that the whole town has the dark sky, because it's so pretty here. And the other thing, I wanted to make sure that Watchman's Point didn't get put on the back table. So I'm just kind of wondering, were you planning on taking that one on and pulling a meeting together or something for that?
Yes, and we've been having discussions with the Watchman's Point people, with Mr. Bradshaw of the Planning Commission, and they're talking and answering his concerns, and we'll be having some more meetings and
Okay.
revisiting that. So.
They kind of acted like they might have been getting a little discouraged at that
They-
last meeting, and
They left the Planning Commission a little bit less than thrilled with what happened.
I just didn't
but
want them to
what
not.
the Planning Commission did was said, we're gonna table it, because we wanna have some more discussion on it.
Okay, but
So
I just
they-
wanted to
they
make
didn't-
sure we
they
don't
didn't
let
actually
it fall
act
off
on
the
it.
table here.
Right. So, yes, those discussions are happening, and so it'll be back, but whether it's
Okay.
next month or a little later, we'll see.
Perfect.
All right. Any other comments? Well, with that, we will adjourn 6:24.